Okay, hello, good evening. Hello, Jaden. Good evening. Welcome back to our. This is our lesson for September week 4. Okay. Yes. Hello, everyone. Yes. Fu Ping. Hello. Is this your first day here? Okay. Is this your first day here? So, guys, what are we doing today? We are doing revision today, huh? Okay, we are doing revision today, Sorry, I just had my dinner, so I'm still burping. Okay, yes, Charlene, hello. So what are we doing today? We are doing revision for our where were we? I think we stopped around the biology revision here, right? Our year 7 revision. Yeah, I think we stopped around here. All right, so Fuping, if this is your first day here, this PDF, I already put it in Google Classroom. I already put it in Google Classroom, so you can check it there. I uploaded the PDF there already. Next week we will be using another new revision. Guys, we have finished all our syllabus. So today onwards it will be revision. Okay, we are revising for your final year exam because I believe your final year exam should be around the corner, should be around October lah. If yours is a bit late, then maybe November. If you're the January intake lah, that is. Okay, anyway, so we finished half of it. Not half lah. I think we finished around, I think we finished around half of it. So let me, quickly go through the answer again. Okay, let me quickly go through the answer again. So we did mention these 6 symbols. Some of you didn't learn this because some of your schools, they choose to not teach this part, but I still think this is important lah. Okay, so you have your corrosive, that means they will eat away your skin. Toxic, that means they will kill you, you can die. Highly flammable means they can burn. Radioactive, like your X-ray. Irritant means they make you uncomfortable. Explosive means they can, well, explode. Right, so these are the examples. Your corrosive, they are your acid and alkaline, because acid can eat away your skin. And then you have your toxic, which is mercury and lead. Mercury is very, very toxic. Okay, you can die just by consuming mercury. And then your highly flammable, that would be your alcohol, petrol, and kerosene. Petrol, you see this in petrol station. And then your radioactive, they are your uranium and plutonium. We use this in our nuclear bomb, nuclear power plant. And then irritant, like your chloroform and ammonia, they are not nice to smell, they hurt your nose. And then you have an explosive, which is a hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas, they will explode by touching oxygen. So very, very explosive. All right, so I think we also revised on our biology part. Okay, mainly we revised biology part last week lah. Okay, we revised on to transport stuff around your body. You have circulatory system, your blood vessel, and your heart. Breaking down food, digestive system, stomach and esophagus. Taking oxygen into the body, respiratory system, lung and trachea. Helping different parts of the body to communicate. That will be your nervous system, which is your brain and your spinal cord. The wiring system in your body. All right, so the cell parts, I'll just roughly go through this. You have your cell membrane, which is the skin of the cell. You have your cytoplasm, which is the inside of the cell. Mitochondria, this is not important for you. Nucleus, which is the middle of the cell, the boss of the cell. So the function, read this yourself. Okay, I already went through this last week. All right, so this microorganism part, I'm not gonna go too much into this. Guys, as you can see, this is a very short revision. So I might finish this early. And I will go into another revision, which is our next week's revision. So I might go into October stuff, which I don't think you have the notes yet. Okay, I'm sorry, because it's still being printed. Okay, it's still being printed, which is your year 8 biology revision. We'll be talking about this later. If we have the time lah. All right, so let's come back to here first. Let's look at question number 5. All right, so next, the diagram below shows a food web in a forest in Europe. I think you learned food web earlier this year, if you still remember. I mean, if your school ever teach you food web this year lah, some school they will teach it in year 9. So name the 3 producers in the food web. So quick reminder, what is producer? Producer is any plant that can make their own food, which the process is called photosynthesis. All right, any plant that can do photosynthesis, they are your producer. So in this case, you have your grass, okay, and usually they are green. You have your blackberry, and you have your nettle. All right, don't ask me what a nettle is because I don't know. It's just a plant lah. Okay, and then you have all these consumers. All these, they are consumers. As long as you eat something to survive, you cannot make your own food. You are a producer. You are a consumer. You consume others. You eat others to survive. Whereas plants are green plants. They can do photosynthesis. They can survive on their own, as long as you give them sunlight. All right. So B, name 1 secondary consumer in the food web. So what is a secondary consumer? The consumer that's on the first layer that eats the grass, that eats the plant, we call it primary consumer. Okay, primary consumer. So on the first layer, okay, the bottom layer you have producer, and then primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. So who is the secondary consumer? That means the second guy. So this is 1, 2, 3. I see fox is the secondary consumer, because fox will eat the primary consumer. And then you have your kestrel as well. Okay, kestrel is something like an owl, like an eagle lah. And then you have your owl as well, because owl is also second. Okay, because they eat the vole. Vole is like a tiny mouse. And then you have your blue tit. Okay, blue tit. Tit is a bird. Tit is a bird. So these are all secondary. Is it easy to see? And then these are all primary. Oh, you can say beetle as the secondary too. This looks like a ladybird though. Okay, because they eat the aphid. They eat the aphid. Aphid is the primary, and then this is the secondary. So beetle is the secondary. Right, so we have 5 here. Okay, you have 5 here. You need to get all 5 to get that 1 mark. You see the 1 mark here? You need to get all 5 correct. Oh, sorry, they just want 1, right? Okay, then you just name 1. No, they don't need 5. Right, sorry, I misread the question. So yeah, there you go. You have all your 5 here. So see, what do the arrows in the food web represent? Okay, what does this arrow represent? That means okay, it is eaten by or consumed by. Grass is eaten by vole, eaten by rabbit. Blackberry is eaten by vole, eaten by mouse. So eaten. So C, D, draw 3 different food chains from this food web that contains an aphid. So they want this aphid here. So let's construct 3 different food chain. You start from a nettle first. Nettle going to an aphid, going to a beetle. Okay, that's the first one. Second one, you have nettle again. You have aphid. You have blue tit. I think there's only 2 here though. I don't think there's 3 because the aphid only has 2 arrows going to another animal. So I don't think there's 3 here. Yeah, there's only 2 here. All right. There's an error here. There's no 3 food chains here. There's only 2. Two, which is this one, beetle and the blue tit. Right. So next, moving on. E, suggest what would happen to the population of other animals in the food web if the voles become extinct. Explain your suggestion. Okay. Very good question. Very good question. If suddenly voles there are no more. Okay, if voles there are no more, what happens now? What happens now? You see, vole they are eaten by kestrel and owl. Owl they only eat voles. So you see, here's a problem. Owl will extinct as well. Owl will also extinct because in this food web, right, owl has only one source of food. They have only one source of food. So you take their food of the food source away, they will die. Okay, so owl will die, will extinct, and then kestrel will decrease because you see, kestrel won't die because they feed on two things. They eat two things. So if they have no vole to eat, right, they can still eat mouse. They have like one more source of food, but there will be less of it, less of kestrel because they are not surviving very well. Same goes to your fox. Fox will also decrease. All right, because they have no more vole, they only eat rabbits. So you see, guys, you see here, when you affect one organism, right, you are changing the whole food web. This is why you don't kacau anything in the wild. Okay, because when you do that, when you disturb anything, you will disturb the whole thing. You see, when I have less vole, right? When I have less vole, I will have more grass. You see, I have more grass. When I have more grass, I will have more rabbit. Which is not a good thing. You throw everything off balance. Everything is affected. So this is why, right? This is why, right? Every organism in a food chain, they are important. Every, even as annoying as cockroach, guys. I don't know about you. I freaking hate cockroach. I freaking hate mosquitoes. As much as we hate it, they are still important because if you say I wish all mosquitoes were to die, okay, I wish all mosquitoes they die. I mean, if they die, it's very good for you because nothing is biting you anymore. But you have to know some insects they feed on mosquitoes. So if all of them die, what are they gonna eat? So you see, you don't simply disturb an ecosystem because you will disrupt the whole thing. Okay, so here's the thing, right? So E, what will happen to the other animals? Explain your suggestion. I'm just gonna say one here. You can say owl will become extinct. Why? Because owls feed on voles only. Owl feed on voles only. They can only eat voles. So there you go, 2 marks here. So I'm just giving one example. If you say, sir, can I explain kestrel? Yeah, the population of kestrel decreased because there's less food source. I would accept. Okay, so I'm going to write it here. Population of kestrel decreases. Okay, because one food source is lost. Right, one food source is lost. That means, you know, something is missing. There's less food to eat. So guys, use the word population. Population means number, 数量有多少只. Please don't say number. Please don't say number of kestrel. That is wrong. You say population. Okay, population. You don't say how many number of humans in this world. You say what is the population of human. 人口. How many people in this world? So what's the population? So that's the word you need to know. All right, so you don't destroy a food chain, which is a very bad thing. So number 6, the figure below shows the percentage of carbon dioxide in a period of time. As you can, what is the number of lizards? What the hell? Okay, I think this is a typo here. What is the number of lizards? Okay, what I'm trying to say here is, you see, number of the carbon dioxide is increasing a lot over the last few years. All right. So why? Why? Because we keep burning fossil fuel. We are having more humans now. So this is the cause of global warming. Okay, guys, pay more attention to global warming. They will come out almost in every exam, because this is the biggest problem we are facing now, which is global warming. All right, so A, combustion of fossil fuel increase the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. How does it contribute to the increase of carbon dioxide level in the atmosphere? Explain. So that means they're asking you, how does burning fossil fuel, okay, what is fossil fuel again? Let me revise this. Fossil fuel is your petroleum, your natural gas, and your coal. You know what's a coal? Coal is 煤炭, the black color stone that you burn. So these three, they are your fossil fuel. They are from underground. So when you burn them, combustion is burning. When you burn these, you will get carbon dioxide, right? The petrol in your car, is it petroleum? The petrol in your car, when you pump petrol in your car and you burn it to move, your exhaust has carbon dioxide. All right. When you cook, natural gas is for cooking. When your mom cooks, you get carbon dioxide. When you burn coal, you also get carbon dioxide. So burning fossil fuel produces carbon dioxide. So how does it contribute? So we can say combustion produces carbon dioxide. All right, so they ask you now, why does it increase? Why is carbon dioxide increase like that? Because combustion increase. Why will combustion increase? Because we have more people around. You need to burn more petrol because you have more cars, right? You compare to 50 years ago, do you think KL has so many cars right now? No. Okay, we have so many cars right now that it's getting annoying, isn't it? It's getting annoying, isn't it? But no matter where you go, it's traffic jam everywhere. Okay, because we are doing even more combustion now. So, okay, so how does it increase? So, when combustion increase, also when there's more combustion, level of carbon dioxide, I'm just going to write CO2 here, level of carbon dioxide increases. So more burning, more carbon dioxide. That's the thing. So what can you do? Cycle more, lor. Don't burn so much, lor. Guys, even when you use electric at home, right? When you switch on your aircon, when you use your light, when you use your fan, you are still burning something. You're like, God, sir, I just switch on my switch, I just switch on my light, how is that combustion? When you switch on your light at home, or TV, or aircon, or washing machine, whatever, the power station, if you still remember what is a power station, okay, a power station is the place where they give you your power. Power station also burn fossil fuel to generate electricity. You see, so our electricity still come from fossil fuel. So don't think that when you're at home, you're not driving, then you're not producing any carbon dioxide. You still do, as long as you use electricity. So what's the best you can do? Try to use as little electric as possible. Try to use your car as little as possible. Cycle, take public transport. Okay, those are better ways. So B, other than logging means chopping down trees, cutting trees, give one activity that contributes to the increase of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So you see, when I cut trees, right? When I cut trees, I have less photosynthesis. Yeah, so I have less oxygen. I have more carbon dioxide. So what else? Besides cutting tree, what else? You can say increase in human population. When you have more humans, you will have more carbon dioxide because we need to breathe, right? Not only that, when you have more humans, we need to eat more meat, right? Right? Imagine there's like 1 million more people in this world, in Malaysia. So we need to eat like more chicken, right? There's more chicken to feed more people. So guys, eating meat actually contributes to carbon dioxide as well. So to save Earth, right? To save Earth, right? One of the way is actually to become a vegetarian. Am I a vegetarian? No, I'm not. Okay, I mean, I know it's bad lah. I know eating meat is bad, but I don't really care because I love eating meat. So guys, if you love the environment, okay, if you love the environment, you want to contribute to, because you love this world, you want to contribute to, you know, making this world a better place. You can start by becoming a vegetarian. I know it sounds silly, but it does help. Okay, any of you vegetarian here? Any vegetarian here? The less animal product you use, the better it is for the environment. So don't use leather. Okay, don't eat animal products. Try to go for, you know, plant-based. It's hard, I know. Okay, I mean, I'm not vegetarian myself. Okay, so C, state the two effects if the rate of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere increase continuously. So what happens if we keep having more carbon dioxide? All right, you have something called greenhouse effect. Okay, greenhouse effect. What is greenhouse effect? That means you are making the world hot, and this will lead to global warming. Now, guys, these two are, many students will get confused because many people think that greenhouse effect is global warming. Global warming is greenhouse effect. You are half correct if you say like that. The proper way, the correct one would be greenhouse effect causes global warming. First, you have greenhouse effect, then you have global warming. So one is the cause, one is the result, one is the effect. All right, so 2 marks here. Easy 2 marks here. Next, number 7. Okay, number 7. So you have whale, okay, eagle, sparrow, tiger, cows, and woodpecker here. Mammals and birds, right? There are only 2 types here. 2 groups of animals that have backbones. Let me do a quick revision, guys. Let me do a quick revision. Animal has 2 types. You have invertebrates. Right? Do you still remember them? Invertebrates, and of course, invertebrates you have many types as well. You have mollusk. You have arthropod. Okay. What was it again? Yeah, you have like 5 or 6 class like that. And then of course you have vertebrates. Okay, those with backbone, we call it vertebrates. And then vertebrates, right? Vertebrates has 5 class. Okay, 5 classes. You have mammals, which is us. You have birds. You have fish. You have amphibians, which is your frog. And you have your reptiles. Okay, like your crocodile, snake, those are reptiles. But here is only mammals and birds. So what do we call animals with backbones, right? We call them vertebrates. Vertebrates. Why vertebrates? Because your backbone, we don't call it backbone. The proper name for it is vertebral column. Our backbone is called vertebral column. Backbone is people who don't study science. For people who don't study science, they cannot say vertebral column, so they say backbone lah. All right, so these they are all backbones. So classify the animals above into the category of mammals and birds. So your mammals would be your whale, tiger, cow. These are all birds, as you can see. They have feathers. They have feathers. Guys, don't forget the characteristic of each class. Like reptiles, they are cold-blooded. They lay eggs. They breathe using lungs. They have dry scales. Things like that. Amphibians, also cold-blooded. They have wet skin, moist skin. They breathe using lungs and skin. They also lay eggs. And then fish, also cold-blooded. They breathe using gills, lay eggs as well. And then, they do external fertilization. That means the sperm and the ovum will join in water. Okay, don't forget. And then for birds and mammals, both of these, they are warm-blooded. Birds, they lay eggs, but mammals, we give birth. What else? Our birds have feathers, but mammals like us, we have hair. Different. Okay, don't forget. You learn this in primary school also. So mammals would be your whales. Okay, your whales. And then you have your tiger and cow. So bird is the other three lah. You have your eagle, your sparrow, and your woodpecker. Right, there they're asking for it already. Like 3 differences between mammal and a bird. You know what? I'm just gonna write my answer like this. I'm just lazy. So mammal, they give birth. Okay, we just produce a baby, but birds, they lay eggs. Okay, birds lay eggs. Mammals, we have hair, they have feather. What else can you say? Okay, they have beaks. Okay, they have beaks. We have no beaks. They have beaks. Scaly legs, you can even say that. Birds have scaly legs. That means their legs they have scales on it. So they look kind of wrinkly. Yeah, you look at chicken leg, you know lah. Okay, they have scales there, dry scales. Right, these are the 3 differences. What about similarity? How are they the same? They are both warm-blooded. Like I said just now, mammals and birds, they are warm-blooded. Okay, guys, let me get this clear. Just because you are cold-blooded, like snakes, they're cold-blooded, right? Just because they're cold-blooded, doesn't mean their blood is cold. Okay, don't mistake. That is wrong. Cold-blooded actually means their body temperature doesn't need to stay at a constant temperature. Okay, what do I mean? We are warm-blooded, right? Warm-blooded animals, they need one temperature to stick to. Like for us, what's the normal human body temperature? Guys, over these 2 years of COVID, you don't tell me you don't know what's your body temperature. We have scanned so many goddamn times. So our human body, right, is 37 degrees. Okay, 37 to 37.5. Is it very narrow? We need to stay at 37. So we are warm-blooded. That's the meaning. It doesn't mean that our blood is warm or what. Yeah, our blood is warm, but it will stay at 37.5 or 37. But for cold-blooded, right? It doesn't mean that their blood is like ice cold. It just means that their blood can just move up and down for, I don't know, 5 or 10 degrees, no problem. Okay, they can be 30 degrees, they can be 35, they can be 40. They can just go up and down. Right? For us, 30 degrees, you are dead. We are 37, right? 38, you're already having fever. 39 is considered high fever already. 40 something, you are dead. 30 also dead. So we are not cold-blooded. Cold-blooded just means that they can just move up and down. Okay, that's the meaning. So mammals, they are warm. Mammals and birds, we are warm-blooded. And then we what else can we say? Wow, I couldn't think of anything else. Birds and mammals. Oh, breathe using lungs. Okay, breathe using lungs. Okay, we have a backbone. You can say that. Okay, or you gonna say live on land, or because some mammals they live in water also. Yeah, have backbones lah. Okay, I would just say bones. Have bones. Okay, so I hope you understand. Okay, so next E, then they're asking for already. Reptiles and amphibians are two more groups of animals with backbone. Give two examples of reptile and amphibian. This one easy peasy lah. So reptiles, right? Reptiles, right? You have your snake, okay, crocodile, alligator, iguana, yeah, anything, okay, anything. And then of course amphibians. So who are amphibians? You have your frogs, toads, salamander. I think that's how you spell it. Okay, so what's a salamander, guys? Do you know what's a salamander? Okay, do you know what's a salamander? Salamander is this thing that, you know, don't touch it. It's poisonous. Okay, the more colorful they are, the more poisonous they are. You know, ocelot. Okay, ocelot. This thing is actually a salamander, but this thing is not poisonous lah. This thing is not poisonous, but I don't know lah. Some right, some they say they are cute. I don't find them cute though. I just find them scary. Okay, they look like a freaking sausage. How is that cute? I don't know. They just look like sausage. Okay, I mean they have a smiley face lah. I'll give them that, but it's still very scary for me. Okay, don't touch salamander, guys. If you have a chance to see them, please don't touch them. Usually they are venomous. Okay, not poisonous, they are venomous. If you touch them, you die. It's called venomous, it's not poisonous. Poisonous is when you eat them. Okay, you don't eat salamander. Well, anyway, so this is all for our year 7 biology revision. Of course, we will come back to year 7 when we finish our year 8 revision. Okay, so let's go to our year 8 revision, shall we? All right, don't worry, you'll be getting this next week. Hopefully, you'll be getting this next week. So I'm not gonna go too much into this today lah. I'm just gonna, roughly touch on this. So I will wait for you to get your notes first. All right, so if you still remember, we have 6 chapters in our year 8 biology. Okay, we have 6 chapters here. So we have plant nutrition, food and digestion, circulatory system, respiration, reproduction, diet, drugs, and diseases. These 4 are the killers. Okay, these 4 are the killers. The digestive system, circulatory system, respiratory system, and the reproduction system. This is a lot to study. So guys, pay more attention here. Especially if you are not very good in memorizing stuff, you need to do more exercise because there's a lot of stuff you need to memorize. Okay, so anyway, let's go to question chapter 1. I'm just gonna roughly, revise this today. Next week we shall, go to this in detail. So what is plant nutrition? In this chapter we study photosynthesis. All right, if you have any point you want to write down, you can write down now. All right, if you still have the notes, from I don't think you guys do. All right, so photosynthesis, organisms, they obtain energy from food. Okay, energy is passed from one organism to another along a food chain, as we say just now. So every food chain begins with a plant. All right, so plant is the beginning of everything. That's why they are called producer. Plant is called producer, like I said just now. So plants, right, they can carry energy, they can capture energy from light using chlorophyll and convert it into food. So this is the formula that you must memorize. Not really memorize lah, I mean, at this point, you should be able to say this without problem. Plants, they will take in carbon dioxide and water. Okay, this is from the air, this is from the root. And then they will use light and chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is what they have. Light is from the sun. They will use this to make food and oxygen. And what kind of food? They will make glucose. What is glucose? Glucose is the sugar used by plants. All right, I hope you remember. So when we eat sugar, right, we are eating the glucose. So these two, they don't want it, they will just throw it out. So we are eating, we take these two and we do respiration. Okay, so guys, respiration, right, is us taking food and oxygen, taking glucose and oxygen, and we change it back into carbon dioxide and water, and we give it back to the plants. So you see, plants and humans, right, we are exchanging stuff. Things they don't want, they give it to us. Things we don't want, we give it back to them. So it's like an exchange. So this process is what we call photosynthesis. And of course, organisms use energy from food to produce new cells. All right, so why do we eat food? Why do we need new energy? We need it to build cells. Material that is made up of cells and tissue is called biomass. All right, your weight, okay, you have a body weight, right? You have a body weight, right? And do you know that, guys? 70% of your body is water, right? Your body is 70% water. So you take out the water, right? You take out the water, now you are left with cells and tissue. Those are your biomass. Okay, those are your biomass. I mean, it's impossible for us to take out your water because you will die. But this is what you need to know. You are 70% water, 30% biomass. That 30%, like for example, me, I'm 70 kg. I'm 70 kg. I am 21 kg biomass. Okay, because 3 3 7 21 3 7 21 So I'm 21 kg biomass. The rest of what 49 kg, they are all water. Okay, I have 49 kg worth of water. All right, losing just 1% of water, you can die. Not even joking. If your water percentage is like what at 60 something, you can die. All right, so this is our photosynthesis. So where do they take place? Where do plants do photosynthesis? They do it in their leaves. All right, so every plant will use leaves as the main organ to do photosynthesis. Okay, guys, so let me repeat. Leaves are the main organ to do photosynthesis. Okay, leaves are the main organ. So that means, right? If you have a plant, you pluck out all the leaves, they cannot do photosynthesis. It's like plants in winter, It's like plants in winter, In winter, right, plants will shed off all their leaves. They will throw off all their leaves. So the leaf, that's why they cannot do photosynthesis, But because in winter, there's not much sunlight anyway, so plants will just, go to sleep during winter. Okay, during winter. That means there's no sun, they will just shut up all their leaves. So they use something called chlorophyll, as we said just now. Chlorophyll is the green color stuff, and they are found in your chloroplast. This one we revised last week. In your plants, right, there are these tiny green stuff in your okay, this is a plant cell, by the way. In your plant cell, you have all these tiny green stuff. We call it chloroplast. Okay, chloroplast, and these chloroplasts, inside them they have chlorophyll, and this chlorophyll, they will capture the sunlight for you. So this is why if your plant is not green, they cannot do photosynthesis. Very important. All right, so they are found mostly in your palisade cell, right? You see, I highlight this for you. So this is very important. Where is your palisade cell? Your palisade cell is here. Okay, sorry, not including the spongy. So this is your palisade cell. All right, can you see out of all these cells, can you see palisade is the greenest, the most green? You see, palisade is like super green. The rest of it is like light green. This is very green. So palisade cell is like green. That's why they do photosynthesis. That's why they do photosynthesis. So the rest, they are, they don't do a lot, but palisade, they do the most. Okay, so the energy transfer diagram, you learn to draw this in year 7. What energy convert to what energy? So light energy using chlorophyll, they will convert it to chemical energy, which is in your food or glucose. The food you eat from, let's say potato, right? Potato is chemical energy, right? And then food is stored as starch in plants. It can be tested using the iodine test. All right, so when plants, they make extra food, right? Which they do, because you see, plants, they don't run. They are not very active. So the sugar they make, the food they make, they cannot finish using it. So what they do, they will make the extra food and then they will store it here in the vacuole here, and they will store it as starch. What is starch? Starch is the thing you find in rice. Remember? Remember, you find starch in rice. So how do we know a plant has starch? We can test it using something called iodine test. I hope you still remember what is this. Okay, what is an iodine test? Very easy lah. You just you know your okay. By the way, what is iodine? Iodine is your yellow medicine. You know Huang Yao Sui. When you fall down, right? When you fall down and you scratch yourself, you get a wound, right? So you want to kill bacteria in the wound, so you put that yellow medicine. That is your iodine. All right. So if you take a piece of leaf, right, and you put iodine on it, it will change color from yellow to dark blue. If it changes color, that means there is starch. That means got starch present. Okay, we learned this earlier this year, huh? Okay, I hope your school teaches this as well. This is very important info. In fact, this part is repeated in year 7 also last year. All right, so this is your leaf structure. This is the side view of a leaf. Guys, when you chop your leaf into half, this is what you see. I mean, when you zoom in lah, okay, when you zoom in. So, of course, what are these things? So, number 1, you have your cuticle. Cuticle is this thing here. So when you touch every leaf, right, the top surface is very smooth, right? It looks like there's a layer of wax, a layer of oil on it. That's the cuticle. So cuticle is a waxy layer that prevents evaporation of water. Since this is wax, right? So water cannot go out. Water cannot go out, it will be blocked by this cuticle. Very important, so that plants, they don't dry. So that plants, they stay fresh because of this cuticle. And of course, you have your upper and lower epidermis. Epidermis means skin. Okay, very important, write this down. Epidermis is skin, so you have your upper skin and your lower skin. And what's the function of a skin? A skin is to protect the leaf, is to protect you. You have skin to protect you, right? So same thing. And then you have your palisade mesophyll and spongy mesophyll. Palisade mesophyll is here. Okay, this is the part that, you know, like I said just now, contains the most chlorophyll, contains the most chloroplast. And then spongy mesophyll. Why is it spongy? Because you look at this air here. This air makes it spongy. You know, sponge has air, right? So this is spongy lah. So they also contain chloroplast, but they have more air space. What are all these air space for? This is for gaseous exchange, for them to change air. Okay, to change air. So xylem, this is to carry water. Phloem, this is to carry food. Guard cell, this is to control the stoma. Stoma is the hole. Stoma is this hole they use for breathing. So all these are, guys, you should know it by now. All these are, you should know it by now. I mean, we learned this like this year, and your school most likely they taught it this year or last year. Okay, so anyway, let's look at investigating photosynthesis. How do we know photosynthesis takes place? Very easy. So we do this by putting it in water. Okay, putting it in water. Because photosynthesis, they produce oxygen, right? They produce oxygen, right? So when you put a plant in water, when they produce oxygen, you will see bubbles. The bubble is for oxygen lah. It's oxygen lah. So we can know a plant is carrying by observing if it is releasing bubbles in water. So the bubble is oxygen. So studying light intensity on rate of photosynthesis. So how do we know whether light can affect photosynthesis? Because you see how we need light for photosynthesis, right? So how do we know? We just put a light nearby and we see if there's bubble. Okay, if we put light here, you see bubbles, means they are doing photosynthesis. If you put the light closer, you should see more bubbles because more photosynthesis. If you take the light further away, you will see less bubble because they don't do photosynthesis now. All right, so the aquatic plant will start photosynthesizing and will release oxygen gas. Okay, we can determine the rate of photosynthesis by counting the number of bubbles. So the more bubbles you have, the more photosynthesis they do. Repeat this experiment by placing the light source further away. So when you put this further away, you should have less bubble. You can also use this to study temperature. You can use it to study temperature. That means if I put 37 degrees, oh, you see a lot of bubbles. When I put 15 degrees, which is very cold, they release very little bubble. Because just like us, plants, they like 30 something degrees. They don't like very cold or very hot. All right, so that's all I have to say about photosynthesis. Wow, I'm supposed to just, talk about this next week. But hey, here we are finishing it already. So what is your root? The function of the root is to absorb water and mineral salt. Okay, because you need water for photosynthesis, as you can see here. You need water, that's why you need to water your plant and your mineral salt. And to support the plant, root is to hold the plant on the ground so that they don't, they don't just collapse. And of course, to store food, this is not for all, but for certain plants like sweet potato. Sweet potato is underground, right? Potato is underground, right? Onion is underground, right? So they will use it to store, store food. And of course, survival. Okay, survival. Some plants are like grass, they still live even when their above ground parts die during difficult weather. That means if you cut grass, right, the grass is not dead. Okay, and sometimes when you see a field full of dry grass, it doesn't mean that they are dead. It just means that the top part died, but the root is still there. As long as the root is still there, when you water them, when it rains, they will still grow. Here's the thing. All right, so this is for survival. So to get rid of weed, get rid of grass, you have to pull their roots out from the ground, which can be very difficult. All right, so roots, they have tiny root hair cell. Okay, this is one root, this is one big root. And then beside your root, you have all these tiny little hair. We call it root hair cell. Why do they need these hair cells? This is to increase their total surface area in absorbing water and mineral salt. Just like the villus in your intestine. Remember, your intestine also has these tiny hair inside your small intestine. Has these tiny hair. So same goes to your root lah. Root also has all these tiny hair so that they can absorb water better. Okay, they can absorb more water. And then of course, to transport water and minerals, you have two things, which is xylem and phloem. Very important. So absorption of water does not require energy. Water is absorbed to replace water lost through stoma. This is called transpiration. Right, what is this? When plants, they stand under the sun, right, they will lose water. They will sweat. Plants, they will sweat too. Not like us lah. Okay, they don't call it sweat, they call it transpiration. When plants, they sweat, we call it transpiration. So absorption of mineral salt requires energy. To do so, root cells carry out respiration to produce energy. So this is why you need energy for salt to absorb mineral salt. So respiration requires oxygen. Root cells obtain oxygen from air spaces between soil particles. So you see, can you see soil? There's air in between. That's why you don't plant anything inside. Any plants, you don't plant them inside compacted soil. You need to plant them in airy soil. You know what does it mean? You know what does it mean? Before you plant something, right, you have to loosen the soil. You have to loosen the dirt so that there's air inside, so that the root can breathe, so that they don't die. All right, so water and mineral soil is transported through plants using xylem. What is xylem? Xylem is the part of the plant that carries water. The straw in a plant, to put it that way, all right? You use straw to suck water, right? Same thing. Plants, they use straw to suck water, but they don't call it straw. They call it xylem. Okay, they call it xylem. So where is a xylem? In a root, right? You have to know where to color. They will ask this in an exam. In a root, xylem is is on the inside. Guys, always remember xylem is always on the inside. You see, this is on the stem. Stem, they're also on the inside. And then in leaf, leaf, they're always on the inside. So upper side is the inside. Okay, because down here is the stoma. Down here is the hole. So they're hiding away from the hole, which is up there. So up there is inside. Okay, guys, boring stuff, I know, because plant really is boring. So yeah, that's it. The good part is we are not learning a lot of plants in the first chapter, thankfully. All right, so you know what? I'm gonna stop here because you don't have the notes yet. Guys, I hope you receive this by next week. If you don't, please feedback to your admin. And they will ask me to send it to you. All right, but you are supposed to get the physical copy because I don't want you to print. Guys, this is like what, 27 pages. I don't want you to waste paper. So wait for them to deliver it to you. And if by next Monday you still haven't received it, please feedback to your admin. Whatever branch you register in, you are from USJ, you tell them where is your note. So they will hopefully send it to you as fast as they can. Right, so you know what? I think I'm gonna stop here. Next week we shall go into this, and next week I hope I can, I'll try my best to do one chapter every week so that I can make it in time for your exam. Okay, because we still have year 7 to revise. All right, so guys, I will see you again next week. Okay, thanks for coming. Hope you have a happy Tuesday. I will see you next week. All right, so take care. See you. Good night, and bye-bye.